Welcome back to another show, MLB Classic Interviews, as we introduce you to the Major League Baseball stars of the game. And today we got a special show lined up for you as the coach have interviewed 20 of the current 281 Major League players that have been inducted into the hollow halls of the Hall of Fame. And today we're going to highlight some of those interviews, and those that we don't get to today in future shows, we're going to bring them on. But we're going to lead off today's show with my main man from the Boston Red Sox, David Ortiz, a.k.a. Big Papi, the Hall of Famer.
I rise for you because you Big Papi. First of all, congratulations on being world champions.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
So what does that mean for you, for your personal accomplishments?
I mean, man, just a lot of hard work, and try to keep on getting things done the right way, and that's what we're here for, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I tried to, go through your bio to get some new questions for you, and I see you got 9 pages in that bio. What you been doing with your career?
Well, I've been around for a long time, man, and I guess part of those 9 pages have a lot to do with a long career, being a blessing and an honor for me to have been playing at this level for that long period of time, and it's been a blessing, man. Not everything goes the way you want it to be always, but God give you the opportunity to recover, bounce back, and do whatever it takes to continue being successful.
Yeah, well, you made me do a lot of reading now.
Not me. They did. They could have put that together in 2 pages.
Oh, okay.
They want to make me look good. You know what I'm saying?
Look good. Okay, I got it. Now, I got to ask you about that selfie you took with the president.
Hey,
what
with my man. With my man. Just something that it was part of the moment. Part of the celebration. But you know how things are in today's day. There's a lot of people out there that like to flip things over and can't control that. But mad respect, like always, to our Mr. President, and it was a fun time to be around him and getting to know him a little bit more. And I think happy to be the only one with the selfie with him.
So I got to ask the ultimate question. I asked you last year, how many more years for Big Papi in this game?
I don't know, man. but there are not many, man. We're getting older. Things, get harder to do every year. So I just, ask for help. Thanks God for everything that He gave me and teach me how to being able to do. But my family's growing too, and I signed another year. With a couple options this off season, this spring training, and I think let's see how far we can go.
Are you still having fun?
I do have a lot of fun.
Coach with Big Papi.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, once again, today's show is highlighting the MLB Hall of Famers, those that have been inducted into Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And next up in the lineup is the Cubs great and the Cubs legend, Ferguson Jenkins, the Hall of Famer.
And we stumbled across the Hall of Famer, the legend of the Chicago Cubs, Ferguson Jenkins. How we doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Well, first of all, I want you to know I'm highly honored to have the opportunity to have this interview with you. Cub great, Hall of Famer.
Well, it's fun to come out to a lot of baseball banquets because, it's for a good cause. Mm-hmm. The Schaumburg area, I know well. I remember there were nothing but farms there, and now there's homes and little league programs. But that's what it's all about.
I know how tough it is, number one, to make it to the major leagues and to have longevity like you have. What was the key to your success?
Well, I think it's hard work. Mm-hmm. I try to surround myself with some good ball players too. My roommate Ernie Banks, the last 3 years he played, I roomed with him. Billy Williams was on the team, and Santo and Becker, Kessinger, Hundley. There was a lot of individuals when I was here in Chicago that knew how to play the game. So we kind of put our ability together and we're successful. And I mean, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So there has to be a mix of different individuals from all walks of life, and you have to understand and love the game.
And what about this Cubs mystique where the world just kind of adopted the Cubs as they very own?
Well, you know, I just think that the city, really the north side of town, is probably Wrigleyville as they call it now, really has really said, hey, we're part of the Chicago organization, Chicago in general, and the Cubs are probably the team that they support more than anybody else. But the city has two teams.
Yeah.
The White Sox is a great organization also.
Yeah.
And I think that the personnel they have there, coaching staff, front office, they do a fine job. So, I mean, the city's lucky to have two teams.
And seeing the game today, how much has it changed from back in the day when you played?
Oh, a lot. The ballparks are so much different. The equipment, the players, they work out year-round. They lift a lot of weights. I never really touched weights as a youngster growing up. I always had a pretty tall stature, but I put on weight as I got older. But I just think that what they do now with the front office and with the salary structures now, they protect the players a lot. They don't want them to get hurt. And playing the game, I thought, was the only way to stay healthy. And now they don't want them to really play a lot because they're afraid they're going to get hurt. So I just think that in some respect it's changed in that order, because when I went out there to pitch, I went out there to go 9 innings. I didn't want anybody to say, hey, I helped you win a ball game, although a lot of times it helps.
Yeah.
But I just had the idea that I was strong enough to complete ball games, and that's what I tried to do. And that's the accomplishment of the guys that played in the 60s and 70s. Now the bullpen is stronger than the starting staff.
Do you have any ambitions to get back in the game as a manager, coach on a major league level?
Well, I've talked to ball clubs from time to time, but it just hadn't happened. I coached for 8 years with the Texas Rangers, Cincinnati, and the Cubs. And, you know, right now, being a bench coach would be something that I'd like to feel to get into. But as of right now, I've talked to organizations, but it just hadn't happened.
Coach, take you behind the scene with the current Hall of Famer, Ferguson Jenkins.
Well, there are many great players that have played in the major leagues. Many have not made it to the Hall of Fame, but this one was destined to be a Hall of Famer. The coach with the Hall of Famer for the New York Yankees, Ichiro Suzuki.
Talking baseball with the major leagues, and I found the man himself, Ichiro. Now, you know, you've been a fixture in Major League Baseball as one of the premier hitters. I mean, what do you attribute to your success for those youngsters out there?
若い子たちにどうやってイチローさんがここまですごい選手になれたかっていうのを教えてください。いや、僕はすごい選手かどうか僕は分からないし、ただ野球選手っていうのは野球の技術だけを磨いていればいいということではなくて、やっぱり野球を通して人間を作っていくっていう、そういう価値観はすごく僕は大事だと思っています。
You know, I don't know if you can say that I'm a successful star, but you know, what I can say to the youngsters is that it's not just about the skills that you know. I know you practice and you get better at what you do in baseball, but while you're playing baseball, you know, that's when you become a better person, and that's when you start, you know, becoming a person of a good person. And so that's just something that you could focus on while you're playing baseball.
So what has this experience been for you being a Major League Baseball player?
メジャーリーグの経験っていうのはイチローさんにとってどういう経験ですか？それが本当に分かるのは僕が野球を終えて、少し時間が経ってからということになると思いますけれども、こうやって野球の世界でもう最高のステージで、日々こうやってグラウンドに立つということはで、たくさんの、人の前で、プレーをするということはおそらく僕の人生にとって、少なくともこの12年がとてもその重要な時間になっているということは間違いないと思います。
You know, I think when I look back after I'm retired and maybe it's been a few years, I can really look back and say, hey, this was what it was like to be a major leaguer. But every day I'm on a stage here, biggest stage in baseball, in front of thousands and thousands of fans. I think I'll be able to say that I've played 12 years now. These are the great 2 years that I've been able to experience, and I think I'll be able to definitely say that.
When you look at the stage that you portray back at home, what does that mean to you? You're a role model. You're a hero in your home country.
日本の、アメリカに来てますけど、本当に日本の人たちにとってイチローさんという存在がすごい大きくて、ヒーローであると。それに関してイチローさんどう思ってますか？
それは僕自身は分からないです。僕は実際アメリカで毎日プレーしていますし、日本からどういうその視線が送られているのかっていうのは想像はできますけれども、実際にどうなのかということは全く分からないんですよね。なので人がどう思うか、どう見てくれているのかっていうのはあくまでも人の評価なので、常にそれは動くもの、人の評価というのは常に動くものなので、それよりもやはり自分が日々できることを前に進むために、自分自身のためにやるということが何よりも大事なことだというふうに思っています。
I'm here in States playing baseball, and I really don't know, what fans are thinking or what they're saying, but obviously the fans and also the media, they are always saying that a certain player is this or that, and that always changes with the way you perform. And so as a player, what's important is that you go out there every day and you perform to the best of your abilities. And so as a player, you can't really worry about that. You just have to be prepared and be able to perform to the best that you can while you prepare.
Last question. Should we look for Eastern Hall of Fame one day?
それはだから人が決めることなので、僕はもう全くわからないですし、でもそうやって聞いてもらえること自体が僕はすごく幸せなことだというふうに思っています。
Obviously, I can't decide that, and somebody else's decision. But just to be even mentioned, like asking me that question, it definitely makes me happy and is an honor.
Coach on the road with the great Ichiro. All right, appreciate it.
Well, that's a tough act to follow, but nevertheless, next in the lineup is the Hall of Fame himself from the Minnesota Twins, Joe Mauer.
And we ran across the man for the Twins, Joe Mauer. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Just fine.
Good.
And it's every kid's dream that I ran across to play Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. And I've always told kids that I've run across the quickest way to the big leagues was pitching and catching. Mm-hmm. So what was that route like for you?
You know what? My dad told me the same thing. He said left-handed hitting catcher would be my best chance to go. But ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to play in the big leagues, and really worked at it, and fortunate enough to be here.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I like Papa Mauer already.
Yeah, yeah, he's a smart man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now that quest, I mean, it has to be a drive and a determination in you that goes beyond just being a baseball player to make it. I mean, what was in you? What was that drive in you?
Well, I think obviously I have two older brothers. I think they helped me out a lot. I'd always try to compete with kids their age, bigger, better competition growing up. But my dad was a pretty strict parent, but he made me realize that you have to take care of certain things to be able to have that opportunity, and getting in school, getting your schoolwork done, just being a good human being off the field. So there's a lot of things in place that I needed to take care of before I could get out there on the ball field.
And I've always emphasized to those young baseball players, whatever it took for you to get to that point, to get drafted, once you get in there, you can throw all that out the window because it all starts over.
Absolutely. Whether you're drafted in the first round or the 50th round, you have a jersey and you have a chance. Some of those guys that go a little earlier might have more chances, but your baseball career isn't done after that. A lot of kids that get drafted don't make it, but you just got to keep working and keep chasing your dream.
And right place, right time. How did that work out for you?
Timing helps, definitely. I know I've had a lot of friends that weren't necessarily, or that I came up to the organization with, that weren't necessarily a piece to our puzzle here, but have flourished in other places. So there's going to be bumps along the road, and if things don't work out, just keep trying, and who knows, you could probably end up in the right situation.
Speaking of those bumps in the road, when you hit those bumps, sometimes you get discouraged. You feel I'm giving this game up. It's a little more than I bargained for.
Yeah. Well, baseball's a tough game any way you look at it. Very few guys hit 300 in the league, and that's failing 7 out of 10 times. So it's a tough game to play. It's very rewarding, but I try to play it on an even keel. Not get too high and not get too low, but understand that you give everything you can out on the field, and I can go home proud of that.
So for those youngsters watching this show, what's the average day for Joe Mauer?
It's changed over the years. Obviously they keep us pretty busy in the summers, but it's coming to the park, getting your body, getting yourself ready to play for the night game, and as I get a little older, it takes a little bit longer to get ready, but you're constantly making adjustments. It's a game of adjustments, and for me, once 7 o'clock hits, it's all worth it.
Now, Minnesota Twins. How did you wind up in this Twins uniform? Good little insight for these youngsters on that.
Oh yeah, I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is about 5 or 6 miles from where we play today in Target Field, and was a Twins fan growing up. And like I said, I always wanted to play in the big leagues. And the year that I was drafted, the Twins had the first pick, and they chose me as the first pick. So I was pretty fortunate enough to be in that situation, because the next year they won the division and they wouldn't have had that pick. So I'm happy it all worked out, and I'm glad to be a Twin, and hope to be a Twin for the rest of my career.
So you're the hometown boy that go home after each game and get some good home cooking?
Yeah. Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa at every home game, so got a lot of support, which is good.
All right, I know you gotta give us. Let me just shoot these last 2 questions by you.
All right.
So every kid's dream of playing in the big leagues. When you got that call up and walked in that locker room for the first time and saw your uniform hanging out, what was that experience like?
It was unbelievable. I was nervous, obviously. I was 20 years old, and I made the opening day roster, and it didn't really hit me until they announced that, here's your Minnesota Twins. They started playing that song that I've heard ever since I was real little. So, plus the 60,000 people didn't, it was a little different from what I was used to. But, it was just an unbelievable feeling, and, till this day, Brad Radke was on the mound, and that was the thing I was most nervous about, was getting the ball back to him, that first throw back to him. So, it's pretty special for me, but something I'll never forget.
So for those youngsters out there, what was your most embarrassing moment in the game?
Oh, boy. To pick one? Funny things happen in this game and throughout the year. Embarrassing moment, I don't know, I can't particularly point to one, but there's been a few.
Coach, take your youngsters behind the scenes with the man for the Twins, J.M. All right, appreciate it.
Well, when you talk about the Hall of Fame, as this show today is honoring those that have been elected into the Hall of Fame, who the coaches had an opportunity to personally interview, and you can never forget the man himself, the second baseman for the Chicago Cubs, the Hall of Famer, Ryan Seinberg.
And we're visiting with the Hall of Famer, Ryan Seinberg.
How's he doing? I'm doing good.
Well, you made a career as a Chicago Cub and the Hall of Famer. How does it feel right now to be honored by the Pitcher Hit Club?
Well, it feels great. This is a great tradition. This dinner's going on forever, and they do a great job, and it's for a great cause. So it's my pleasure to be here tonight, and a big award like this in the city of Chicago is it just signifies a career, and with all the things going on in Chicago, it's nice to receive something and be remembered. But I think Chicago's a great town. This is my 28th year going in, being with the Cubs organization. So it's been a great run, and I want to just keep it going.
And, you know, you're revered in Chicago history along with Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, Ryan Steinberg. How does it make you feel when you come back into the city knowing that you left such a legacy behind?
Well, it always feels great, and you know, my wife and I and our families, we still have a home here, so we call Chicago home, and it was great to play during those years with Michael Jordan around and Walter Payton and really all the athletes and the great team traditions that Chicago has going on here. It's a great tradition, and to be a part of it and spend the time here and to leave a mark is very special.
And our show reach a young audience, so we try to ask those non-media questions, but questions that be appealing to youngsters. That Cubs mystique. What's to the Cubs mystique?
Well, the Cubs mystique, I think Wrigley Field has a lot to do with it. Generations of Cub fans have gone there over the years and watched games. It's grandpas taking grandsons, and it's fathers taking kids and their sons, and just it's a timeless place, and it just hasn't changed over all the years, and it's going to be the same throughout the years. But to go there and see the beauty of it and watch a ball game and see the ivy on the wall, it's just a special place. Along with the Cubs logo, which signifies coming from a city like Chicago, centrally located in the United States, where a lot of people throughout their lives have come through Chicago, whether it's college, schools, visiting relatives, whatever it is, and they go to a Cubs game at Wrigley Field for one game and they're hooked.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, you played for a number of years with the Cubs. Now you're managing. What's the difference in managing and playing?
Well, managing for me is the next best thing. You know, it's teaching young players how to play the game. It's managing a game once the ball game starts, and it's competing. It's all those things at once. And I'm also learning a lot of things along the way. So, you know, I just turned 50 years old, and here I am in the minor leagues, learning as much as I can. So it's kind of ironic, but you know, I think baseball keeps a person young. It keeps you young at heart, and keeps you around the youth, and also the future major league players that are working their way up to one day hopefully help the Chicago Cubs win a World's Championship. So to be with those players every single day and show them what it does take to play at the top level is it's gratifying when you see success. You know what? I was given an opportunity to do this and see if I wanted to manage in 2007. I went to A-ball to do that, and now I find myself going to AAA. So things are working out well, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep after it and do a nice job. And you know, right now it's gratifying helping the Cubs organization with, like I said, with the fine young players that we have coming up who will one day be playing here at Wrigley Field in front of the Cubs fans.
Coach, on the road, take you behind the scene with the Hall of Famer Ryan Steinberg.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, you got to be strong up the middle with a great double play combination. And we brought you Ryan Steinberg, the second baseman for the Chicago Cubs. And the other half of that double play combination is the Yankee great himself, Derek Jeter, the Hall of Famer, with the coach.
And I ran across the man for the Yankees, Derek Jeter. How we doing today?
Doing good. Yourself?
Just fine. Every kid I ran across want to be Derek Jeter. So what kind of compliment is that for you?
It's always a compliment when you have kids that look up to you. I mean, for me, I just try to play the game the right way, play it hard every day, have respect for your teammates and your opponents, and I think that's the least you can do.
And how do you account for your longevity in the game?
I've been very fortunate. I've been fortunate to, for the most part, stay away from major injuries and continue to work hard. That's all you can do. I mean, if you're going to play this long, you're going to have to work extremely hard at it.
And something about that Yankee mystique. I mean, you've been the Yankee shortstop and the Yankee captain. How much mystique is that to you?
Well, there's a lot of tradition with our organization. I was a Yankee fan growing up, so it's an organization that I'm well aware of all the history and the tradition, the mystique. It's been fun for me. You know, I've appreciated my time here so far.
And history's going to remember you as a Hall of Famer. So when you think about your legacy, what do you want that legacy to be in this game?
I don't know. I'm still playing, so I haven't thought about it. Maybe when I'm finished playing, I'll think about it.
So, you know, A-Rod, guys like Granderson, who I knew when he was like that. I mean, you know, what is it like being on the field with those guys?
It's fun. I've had an opportunity to play with a lot of great players throughout the years, and you know, you appreciate getting the opportunity, especially when you play against some guys and them coming over here and getting to know them as people. And I play with a lot of great players, but a lot of great people.
Who were some of your mentors coming up in the game?
I had a lot of guys. You know, I was young when I came up. I was 20 years old. You know, I had guys like Tim Raine, Cecil Fielder, Strawberry, Tino Martinez, you know, Don Mattingly. These are guys that I looked up to, and I watched how they played the game and the fun that they had, and I tried to incorporate it into my own game.
Well, you're going back pulling up some old school days now.
I've been around for a long time, buddy.
Well, I know you got to get ready for a game. Let me just ask you this one last question. When you made it to the big leagues, first time, walked in that locker room and saw your uniform hanging up, what was that experience?
Great experience. When I came up, it was a situation where our organization was known for trading young players. So when I got there, I just wanted to stay.
The coach with Jeter. Appreciate it. All right.
Well, once again, as we wrap up this show, it would not be a show if we did not pay tribute to the Hall of Famer, the legend, the man himself, the father of Negro League Baseball, Rube Foster, and his legacy that lives on even today. Game changer, Rube Foster, and the birth of Negro League Baseball.
Career and achievements. Rube Foster began his baseball career in the late 1890s as a dominant pitcher for various independent black teams. His talent quickly set him apart. By the early 1900s, he was considered one of the best pitchers in the country, black or white. Foster's powerful fastball and sharp strategic mind earned him the nickname Rube, reportedly after he outpitched the famous white major league pitcher Rube Waddell in an exhibition game. After his days on the mound, Foster turned his focus to management and leadership. He became the player manager of the Chicago American Giants, transforming them into one of the most successful and respected teams in black baseball history. His managerial skills went beyond the field. He emphasized discipline, teamwork, and professionalism, insisting that his players represent themselves with dignity both on and off the diamond. In 1920, Foster took his greatest step toward transforming the game. He organized a meeting of team owners in Kansas City, Missouri, to form the Negro National League, NNL. This was the first successful professional league for African American players. Under Foster's leadership, the NNL thrived, setting the foundation for future Negro leagues and helping to pave the way toward the eventual integration of baseball. The book is ready. You can purchase your copy today on Amazon or on our website and read the whole story at www.feoa.info. That's www.feoa.info. Game Changer, Rube Foster and the Birth of Black Baseball, the man, the myth, the forgotten legend. For a 21st century audience, Game Changer, Rube Foster and the Birth of Black Baseball. Not just another book, but the book of books for a 21st century generation. That's www.feoa.info.
Well, this show today has been dedicated to those players which have been elected into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, which Coach Mayden personally had an opportunity to interview. I've had the opportunity to interview 20 of them. Until the next show, peace out, and don't forget to check us out on social media.